Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Shemi Shai Basham Makakadash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Moonstone who rule well, as always, and shalom to the elect. Okay, today's lesson I wanted to go into the importance of looking into words. You know, our apostles and elders have always taught us that, the importance of looking into words, because by going into the words, the etymology of words, the Hebrew, the Greek, the depths of the words that are in the scriptures, we're going to gain more understanding. We're going to get a more solid foundation and solid, deeper understanding of what the scriptures are telling us. Okay, and that's the example that has been set for us by our apostles and elders, man. All right, and in today's lesson, I'm just going to go into a couple of examples to show you how important it is to do so. Okay, now for example, I'm going to start off with Matthew the 13th chapter and the 40th verse. Now it says there, "As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world." And this is going into the parable of the wheat and the tares, which pretty much is going into Esau, which is the wicked, okay, the tares, and the wheat, which are the righteous, okay. And you're gonna get Edomites that look, their physical appearance is gonna look like so-called Israelites, because through their line, they had intermingled with Jake, and eventually they might come out looking like they got afro nappy hair or whatever, dark brown skin color. Okay, they might look like Jake, to have Jake features, but their lineage of their forefathers are the Edomites. So that's a tear. Really, he's the wicked. Okay, he is not of the righteous. Okay. And that's what this parable was going into. Now, the key, I just want to give a bit of backstory so you can read it for yourself. And there's many videos, there's many videos breaking it down. I've done some myself. But pretty much, I'm going to go into this word world here, okay? Because what it's saying, it shall be in the end of this world. Talking about the end of what? Okay? The end of this age. Okay? The end of, everything playing out, and pretty much, as it says in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter and the 9th verse, it says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Why? Because when it says Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, what's that the beginning of? The everlasting kingdom. Okay? The kingdom of the Israelites, the kingdom of heaven, that's going to be an everlasting kingdom of righteousness. Okay? But right now, we're still under the rulership of the wicked, through all the different rulerships that happened, empires. And right now we're in the end, which the end is signified by the rulership of Esau, the Edomites. Okay? Right now, when I go into that word, the world there, let me move this way so I can pick up the sound. Alright, move it this way. So when you go into that word world there, it's a G165, and I've taken care to stay in the New Testament for this, so we have some understanding. Okay, right. No surprise there. Like we lost in the music, But I just wanted to move away so I didn't pick it up too much on the speak on the microphone. Right. So as you can see there, the word there is ion. Right. It says a period of time, age, and that's what that's talking about. Okay. Because there's going to be a translation, there's going to be a transference of power, and everything's going to pretty much change up in the kingdom of heaven, man. Okay. No more sin in the flesh for Israel. Okay. Complete dominance forever. Okay. Our dominance in perfection, in righteousness. Right now, that's the word world there in the English, but as you can see, when we went into it, the word aeon came up, so it's got different meaning. Because when you think of the world, you're just thinking, okay, you're thinking of the planet or something, right? Now let's give another example. Right, this is a classic. I call it the Christian classic. John chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Okay? So when you go into the word world there, okay, the word there should be cosmos. That's right. And when you go into the word of cosmos, it says an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution, an order, a government. Okay, it says, that's what I read it. An apt and harmonious arrangement. It's talking about an order, a government, a constitution. It's talking about something particular. Okay, and in this sense, it's talking about Israel, because salvation is only for Israel on the Yahushai. And I'll just get a quick precept to show you that. Okay, there's many precepts, but I'll just quickly get Luke 1:68. Okay. It says, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and have raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David." So that's talking about Yahushai. Okay. All right. If you look at Yahushai's lineages, came out of the house of David. Yahushai, okay, the son of the Most High Yahweh, our Lord, okay, is coming only for Israel. I'm gonna get another quick precept, okay, because there's many. Let's just get this straight to the point. Matthew chapter 1 verse 21. "And she shall bring forth a son." You see, he keeps talking about this son, which is Yahushai. "And thou shalt call his name Yahushai." He says in the English there is written as Jesus, but that's just them messing around with the translation. Okay, they don't know letter J until the early middle century. Okay, before it was I, and so on and so forth. But in the Hebrew, the actual name, okay, and how you call upon the name is Yahushai. Okay, it says, "For he shall save his people from their sins." So it's always been about his people. And who's the Lord's people? The Israelites. The Lord was from sprang out of the tribe of Judah. Okay. So that's another example of what the cosmos is talking about. The cosmos, so in particular, and you can have many cosmoses. You can have the cosmos of the sports world, for example. They call it the sports world, or they call it the business world, or the IT world. But that particular world there is talking about, the particular cosmos there is talking about Israel. Okay, and we've got an understanding on that. Now let's use another example, right? This is Luke chapter 2. Verse 1, it says, "And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed." Now, was this talking about, is this world again there? Is it cosmos? Is it talking about the Israelites? Did Caesar Augustus particularly single out the Israelites and say, in the Roman Empire, I'm going to give you guys the tax? Okay, let's find out. Decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world. See, there's a different word there. Oikoumene. Let's go into that word now. The inhabited earth. The Roman Empire, all the subjects of the empire, because it was the influence under the Roman Empire, the known world. Okay, as far out as reaches as in this particular context that Caesar Augustus's power resided, man, which was the Roman Empire and all its constituencies. Now you get a deeper understanding into that. You go into the history, you look it up about the taxes that Augustus did in the secular history, and you get more understanding. So that's why when a Christian just comes up and says John 3:16, you haven't done your research. Okay, you haven't done your research. You haven't gone into the depths of the scriptures, and you have no understanding. Okay, let's use another example. Let's go to Revelation, the 13th chapter. Okay, verse 17. No, 16. I'll just do 16. It says, "And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." And when you go into that word mark there, okay, it says charagma, a stamp, an imprinted a mark, okay, thing carved, sculpture, graven, work. It's talking about something that's inserted, it's carved into you. Okay. Now, when you go into the root word of this, so you got to go into the root words. When you go into the root word of charagma, it gives you a further understanding. The word there is charux, which is like a pale, a stake or palisade. If you ever seen the instrument that they use, because by the way, the mark there, the charagma, is the microchip implant. Okay, which you're not meant to take. Okay, you're not meant to take that even unto death. Otherwise, you get judged for that. Okay, and the elect of the nation of Israel, those elected for salvation, won't take the chip. They're not going to take the microchip implant into their bodies, man. Now, how is it going to be administered? We watch any videos, it's what? It's inserted in by a sharp, let's call it a little sword, you know? You can see, I forgot the exact, it's on the top of my head right now, I forgot the exact wording for the device, but pretty much that's the haraks, okay? Like when you go to, it's like an injection, the injector device, okay? And you go further into it, you go into grapho, and you get more understanding, and that's by going into the root of the word. Now let's use another example. Let's go to is it this one? Let's see. I want to use another example. Nah, it's not that one. There's another one there. Mark them that cause division. That's what I wanted. That's it. Romans chapter 16. And what was it? 14. Didn't it just say? I don't know. Mark them that cause division. Romans 16. 16 and 17. There we go. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offences contrary to the doctrine which you have learned, and avoid them. Okay, and let's see what that's talking about there. Yep, the word there is scopeo in the mark. Okay, to look at, observe, contemplate, to fix one's eyes upon, direct your attention to take heed to thyself. So like when someone's pretty much going off, okay, they're teaching, let's say they're teaching that the microchip is white, let's say they're teaching that the mark of the beast, which is the microchip implant, let's say they're teaching it's white women, it's even with white men. You mark that man. And what mark is it that do you charagma that man? No. You scopeo that man. Okay? So it's a complete different understanding. And that's again another example of how you get more understanding, man. Okay? And I'll close out on this. There's many examples in the scriptures, but then this will do for the point of the lesson. Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4, it says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Okay, let's go into that. Oh boy. Jake women, man, glamorous, man. You can, oh boy. Anyway, Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4, the word mark there, as you can see, it's a different word. When you go into it, it says mark as a sign of exemption from judgment, tawa. So it's a complete different context, different idea. It's a different word, it's a different meaning. And you're only going to get that by going into the words, going into etymology and understanding words and researching, man. And for that's how you're going to grow. So, it's just a lesson to land back with the message that the apostles and elders give us, which is to go into the words, man, And Lord willing, it's been edifying and exhortational and uplifting for the brothers to do that more, Those that are learning, getting fed, go more into it, and go according to the teachings of the men of great millstone, starting with the apostles and elders, man. Okay, because sometimes you go into the blue letter example, blue letter sometimes goes off, so you got to know as well. You got to be taught. Anyway, man, so Lord, when that was edifying, with that I'm going to say all praise to Yahweh, Shai, Basham, and Shalom to the elect. Shalom.